on the list, turn an Italian classic into a soup. Get in touch with your creative side and how George Lopez and his daughter are healing with comedy.
You can watch it and turn to the person next to you and connect.
Plus,
it's about half of your score, so it is important.
Simple ways to improve your golf game.
You can pick a color after we get it fit.
But up first, how to avoid scams and get back at the scammers. It's your life, it's your list, and it starts right now.
Hey everyone, I'm Jimmy Rhodes. Now, consumer scams are everywhere, and they can happen to the best of us. So one guy has dedicated himself to figuring out the best ways to push back and has gained millions of followers in the process. Now he's sharing some of the biggest lessons he's learned, and that's our featured story at the top of the list.
Scammers are out there trying to take advantage of you, but there is one Twitch and YouTube streamer who's taken matters into his own hands.
I convinced a group of scammers that I was an
older woman with memory problems,
and they wanted to steal every last penny from my bank account.
He hides behind aviator sunglasses and goes by the alias Kitboga. His goal?
Waste all of their day talking to me on the phone so that they're not talking to somebody else.
He's racked up nearly 5 million combined subscribers and has baited thousands of scammers. And he's learned a thing or two about their tricks, so he's given us insights into his story along with some tips to avoid becoming a victim. Because for him, scam baiting is personal. His own grandmother fell victim to several scams.
She definitely would have no idea what was going on, and I felt like I gotta do something about it.
Kitboga worked in software engineering when he discovered tech support scams, where scammers pose as customer or tech support representatives to try to gain access to a computer.
I thought, if I'm in the software world and I've never heard of a tech support scam, that's probably a problem.
So he began to bait scammers by responding to fishy emails, answering spam calls, and even downloading malware on his computer. Once he got a scammer on the hook, he would record and share his encounters on social media.
What is the password?
Well, that I can't tell you that.
I work for Microsoft, so it's okay with me.
He uses voice-changing software to take on different personas, including that of an older woman named Edna, who's based on his own grandmother.
You are not going to pay any money, and you are trying to make me fool, okay?
You see that? Oh, you hung up already?
Almost every scenario has a common denominator: urgency.
Whether it's if you don't listen to them, you're going to go to prison, or you won $1 million, but you have to collect that money right now.
It's this sense of urgency that makes everyone a target.
Because when you get the phone call, who knows what's going on during your day?
His advice is to remain calm and always question the legitimacy of the number that called you.
You should not trust that that number is who they say they are.
Being cautious is important because scams have gone up.
There's new scams coming up, popping up all the time.
Data by the FTC shows consumers losing nearly $8.8 billion to fraud in 2022. So Kitboga continues to teach his following how to be prepared.
Like, okay, my credit card company calls me, they say there's something going on, and I'll call them. Or better yet, go into the bank and talk to an actual physical human being about your problem. If you can build in some of those habits, that helps.
We're taking a look at how to turn the tables on scammers at the top of the list.
The saying, art imitates life, is definitely the case with the NBC show Lopez versus Lopez. The sitcom is all about George Lopez and his real-life daughter processing some of the painful but relatable family situations they've been through over the years. Christina's looking at family healing through comedy.
Meet my dad. Drinks too much. Was never around.
Comedian Mayan Lopez and her famous father, George, were estranged for many years, but the NBC hit comedy Lopez versus Lopez brought them back together.
It's based on my real-life relationship with my father, George Lopez.
It's a story that anyone can relate to. It's a middle-class family trying to find redemption.
Mayan and her co-star Selena Slava share some ways families can come together through the power of comedy. She used funny TikTok videos to help her family heal, and it turned into a hit TV show.
What does my little girl want? an absence of mood swings and some stability in my life.
It's kind of funny because that's how we communicate with each other. That's how I did with TikTok. And that's how the show got started, was through Debbie Wolf, our showrunner, seeing my TikTok.
And some of those TikToks cut deep.
Why be sad when you can just be gone?
Some of his friends would go to my dad and be like, did you see Maya's TikTok? And he'd be like, yeah. And they're like, and you okay with that? He's like, yeah. I'm lucky that my dad's a stand-up. He can take a joke.
Mayan says a big part of healing is talking or having a conversation, something made much easier with humor.
My biggest hope for this show is that it can bring people together and you can watch it and turn to the person next to you and connect.
And while breaking the ice can be awkward, laughing together makes things easier.
You want to make things awkward.
If I wanted to make things awkward, I'd show your late night text asking, you are?
Family's always complicated. You know, we all have someone in the family that we have to work extra hard to be around or make amends with. And this is what this show is about.
Mayan says embracing acceptance and forgiveness is key to family healing. These are often the main themes in the show.
Mayan has a live-in boyfriend in Quentin and a son, and it's really about them reconnecting and building toward a better future and doing it with laughter and love.
Selena says carrying that baggage around is exhausting.
It takes a lot to harbor sadness, anger, regret. When we forgive, there is healing for both parties. That's the beauty that we're seeing on this show, and also in front of the camera and behind the camera.
You actually came through. If there's one thing I can rely on you for, it's being unreliable.
I'm adulting. I'm an adulterer.
Healing family wounds.
We've missed you. And finally, to your deadbeat husband. I kind of like that guy.
Through the power of laughter.
If you've ever played golf, you know it doesn't matter how hard you hit the ball off the tee. If you're not getting it done on the greens, your chances of a decent score are pretty much nil. Well, golf season is here, so Jackie Denker has some tips to help us putt like the pros.
If you're into hitting the links, you probably know that putting is a huge part of your golf game.
It's about half of your score, so it is important.
But the good news is,
From a beginner, 2, 3-year-old, all the way to a senior, anybody can putt.
3-year-old could do it. I think I could maybe do it.
so to learn how to putt with precision, we turned to Tim Cizor, founder and CEO of Putting World in Scottsdale, Arizona. First of all, you have to get a putter that fits you.
So a lot of people just go in and buy a putter off the rack, but there's a lot of variables to the putter.
If you use the wrong putter, it can negatively affect your shot. So you'll start by measuring for proper length.
Where are you measuring from?
I'm just measuring from the ground right to your wrist joint right here.
So there's sizes on them, just like shoes?
Yes. So you're actually going to be probably in about a 31-inch putter.
There's a lot of other putter variables like the lie angle, grip, loft, weight, balance, and shaft to take into account, so?
You would recommend going in and getting a professional fitting?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. And not just going by pretty color?
You can pick a color after we get it fit.
Next, let's talk putter grip.
And I want you just to put your fingertips about the top of your knees, and then I want you to get where you feel stable. Don't let me push you. Okay, that's better. That's good.
Stop pushing me, Tim.
Now clap your hands together.
Then put your putter in the palm of your hands, keeping your hands close together.
And then just tilt your eyes down.
I'm like scared to move.
Tilt down. There you go.
Alrighty.
Now, does that feel comfortable?
No.
He says breathe and try to loosen up.
Golf is fun.
Now Tim's taking us through stance and ball position.
Your stance is pretty good. It's shoulder width apart is usually what we like.
And for positioning,
the leading edge of the putter would go right underneath your sternum. And that's because that's where it's going to reach its maximum speed.
And the ball goes right in the middle of the putter face. If you don't,
the ball's not going to travel that far. Let's put the ball in the center of the face and then go ahead up center of the face.
Okay.
It's still not the center.
It takes practice, okay? Finally, speed and aim.
So speed is really important.
And it takes
what we call its kinesthetic awareness.
Basically, you have to trust yourself and your senses.
Golf is played on a very subconscious level. You can't consciously think about all these things.
Well, I'm just going to forget everything you said then. And
as for aim,
you aim from back here. When you walk into it is where we do the aim.
He says keep your eyes on the hole as you walk in.
I can see the ball in my peripheral vision. So what the brain will do, it'll connect them.
So when you set your stance, he says your brain will remember where the hole is, and you just go for it. I know there's a lot to remember, so he says practice. But at the end of the day, just have fun.
Club drop.
Good job.
Thank you.
Now we are one step closer to putting like a pro.
Still to come on the list, how to turn lasagna into a soup.
You might have the whole town coming to your house if you start making bats of this.
And why axe throwing has become so popular. Plus,
I am the spot. That's not funny.
The most anticipated summer movies.
This brings different energy to it.
All that and more ahead on the list.
Welcome back. There is a revolution coming, and it's bringing big changes to the world of soup. TikTokers are going viral with deconstructed lasagna soup, and Christina's looking at a few variations you might want to put on your home menu.
Deconstructed lasagna soup. It seems to be all the rage on TikTok lately.
It's always nice, comfort, it's warm, it's something that everybody craving.
Chef Rocco Pisano of Sfizio Italian Kitchen in Phoenix, Arizona loves the concept of trading the sheet pan in for a pot. Chef Rocco has 3 recipes to make your own deconstructed lasagna soups to cozy up with.
Every ingredient that you find here is in your classic lasagna. So basically I break it apart and I try to put together in a different way.
First, start with the base of your soup: celery, onion, carrots, and garlic. In Italian, it's called sofrito.
And then once this is cooked, you add tomato sauce, and that's your base. And then you can build off of that.
Once you have your base ready, add about 2 quarts of water or broth.
You want to add liquid as you go. You don't want to boil, you want to simmer. That makes a big difference on taste.
Then for the classic cheesy lasagna soup, he says add a little ground meat of your choice, a whole lot of fontina cheese, and at the end, the torn pieces of cooked lasagna noodles.
A little pasta, a little meat, a little sausage, a little cheese, and that's your lasagna basically. That's all you do in a different way.
You might have the whole town coming to your house if you start making bats of this.
Yeah, we will be. It looks like everybody likes it.
Next up, we are going vegetarian, which is the same ingredients as the classic, but instead of the meat, he used mushrooms and lentils.
Lentil is one of my favorite food. It's also a substitute for meat. It has iron and everything else. And then I found some porcini mushroom, dried porcini mushroom from Italy. I just cooked the lentil a little bit first and the mushroom together. At the end, we'll do the same process.
And lastly, those lasagna noodles go in.
It is just so hearty. The lentils really kind of just take it to that level where it's definitely the lasagna, but it makes it hearty for a soup as well.
Right.
Finally, creamy white lasagna soup with 3 cheeses.
I have fontina cheese, I have mozzarella cheese, and I have provolone cheese and bechamel.
For this one, he suggests breaking the raw lasagna strips apart and just throwing them right in, uncooked.
Because it gets more flour, more flavor than anything else.
Heavenly. Heavenly, this needs to be on the menu.
Chef recommends all 3 soups simmer on low for at least 45 minutes.
So the aromas go through your house, the neighbors start coming over, and then we dig it.
And then you dig it in.
You can find the full recipes on our Facebook page at The List Show TV. And that's What Soup for dinner tonight.
Sometimes we all just need to have a little fun. Whether you're looking to add a spark to your relationship or just have a great time with friends, Teresa Strasser has a few creative activities to try across America. Hey, Teresa.
Thank you. From art studios to kitchens, here are just a few spots that we think you'll enjoy. Coming in at number 1, painting with a twist in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Get ready to discover a creative new way to have fun.
This experience is all about connecting over a glass of wine, snacks, laughter, and a little bit of paint.
We'll show you step by step how to make fun art, not fine art.
They offer several themed classes like painting a portrait of your pet or a sunset. And in 2009, they began franchising, so now you can join the fun in one of their many studios across the country. Guess it's time to plan a girls' night. At number 2, Hot Shots Axe Throwing in Tempe, Arizona. If you want something with a little more adrenaline, this location gives you the chance to impress your date. But if it's your first time, no worries, because a coach will train you to become a champ, or at least not a menace.
You're gonna wanna start with your front foot on the line, 12 feet from the target.
And they also offer glow throw night. That's every Thursday, so bring your favorite gear. That looks just dangerous enough to be fun. And last on our creative activities list is Taste Buds Kitchen. That's in New York. If you're looking to bring some flavor to your outing, this spot offers cooking and baking classes for all ages.
The recipes are great. They're highlighting protein, veggies, carbs.
Their mission is to teach how to cook in a unique and entertaining way.
It was really fun to hang out with friends and make some new friends and learn new skills.
This franchise kitchen is available in more than 10 states, so get your apron ready.
And you get to do a whole class with somebody you've never met.
Yeah, which was really fun. The couple across from us at our table were a blast. We just had a lot of fun with that.
And those were a few ways to create a fun night out across America. Lots more to come on the list. Stay right here.
We are back, and on today's watch list, you probably know that Hollywood traditionally releases some of its most exciting films in spring and summer, and this year's no different. We have the lowdown on the blockbusters that are coming soon.
You will never be able to break my family.
Summer is rapidly approaching, and much like the temperatures outside, things are heating up at the box office with upcoming blockbusters like Fast X, the 10th installment of the Fast and Furious franchise, set to hit theaters next month.
It's showtime. Here we go.
Game recognizes game.
We got a chance to chat about the upcoming movie slate with J. Elvis Weinstein, one of the creators of Mystery Science Theater 3000, a long-running TV series about a man being forced to watch B-movies as a science experiment.
Is it our turn now? Yes.
Building your career off of riffing on cheesy movies can give you an interesting perspective.
I guess you could call it love-hate, really, is my relationship with movies, but I still prefer good movies to bad ones.
Weinstein filled us in on 3 spring and summer flicks he's looking forward to seeing. The first is Paint, starring Owen Wilson, which is in theaters now.
Don't worry, it's not rocket science. It's harder.
I'm excited about this movie for a couple of reasons. One, because it's from a script that was written about 10 years ago. I'm also excited that it's sort of a fictionalized version of Bob Ross.
Paint is said to draw inspiration from PBS's The Joy of Painting.
Maybe there's a happy tree, evergreen tree. He lives right there.
My name is Miles Morales. I'm Brooklyn's one and only Spider-Man.
Next up in Weinstein's triple feature is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which hits theaters June 2nd.
I love any kind of a different take on superhero-dom at this point. This brings different energy to it that separates it from the behemoth superhero machinery of the studios and makes it feel like a different thing, kind of.
I am the Spot. That's not funny.
Don't do that.
Finally, he's holding out hope for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which comes out June 30th. He says the franchise's previous installment, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, was a little too cheesy, kind of like the movies he used to deal with on Mystery Science Theater.
I want it to be good. I'm going to treat it like I'm excited to see it. I'm going to go with an open heart and an open mind, but I assume there's going to be eye rolling going on. I'm a sucker for Harrison Ford.
Get back.
A look at the spring and summer movie forecast on the watch list. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. It's time for what's last on our list, and this is from Today.com. Sugary or fatty snacks change your brain to make you like them more. Now, for 8 weeks, researchers at Yale and the Max Planck Institute in Germany gave one set of participants low-fat pudding and low-sugar apple juice, and they liked it just fine. They looked forward to it. Their brain actually responded to it like a reward. And they could eat other low-fat, low-sugar foods and enjoy that too. Now, another group was given high-fat pudding, high-sugar apple juice, and you guessed it, That group enjoyed other low-fat, low-sugar foods way, way less. So it's not enough for that warm brownie with ice cream melting on top for you to enjoy it while you're eating it. No, like a parasite that turns its host into a zombie, the brownie is actually rewiring your brain to make you like the competition, like, I don't know, say pan-seared broccoli, even less. So evidently junk food became self-aware way before AI ever did. Pudding will take over our brains and make us do its bidding until kale is wiped off the face of the earth. And there's more bad news. Just like one bad food poisoning incident can turn you off to a food for life, your brain will store the memory of that delicious high-fat, high-sugar food for a long time. So rewiring your brain to feel rewarded by low-fat, low-sugar foods will take a while. But I can tell you from experience, I used to love cheese, and now it just looks like drywall putty to me. So it can happen. Folks, that's what's last on our list. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Tomorrow on the list, what a good night's sleep really means.
Deep sleep or stage 3 sleep, this is our physical restoration.
Plus, why tackle boxes aren't just for fishing.
We put the drinks in the bottom with the ice, and then we put like the food on top.
And transform your backyard on a budget.
It adds a personal touch to all of your outdoor spaces and decor, and it's very affordable.
Tomorrow on the list.